Provided enough drama to carry the weekend, but we're just getting started. It's hard to follow Cliff Lee or duplicate his performance, but C.J. Wilson wouldn't have it any other way. If his start in Boston was any indication, he'll make Lee, his teammates, and Ranger fans proud. And it would also make for a very long night for the Angels. Tonight, in front of a large and loud Ranger crowd, Friday Night Baseball, Game 2 between the Rangers and the Angels. It's right here on TX AT 21. Ian Kinsler with a 15-game hitting streak. The Rangers are starting to play real well again, and tonight with the rain having moved along, we are ready for baseball. For those of you expecting the 5 consecutive episodes of Coach tonight, that will not happen. The Rangers and the Angels will play ball on time. It is Game 2 of a 4-game series. And along with Tom Grieve, Josh Lewin, welcome to Texas Ranger Baseball. The Rangers are now where they haven't been in 11 years. At 6 games up in the AL West, and they send C.J. Wilson, a native Southern Californian, to the mound tonight against the Halos.
And if you go back to C.J.'s last start in Boston, the Rangers had won 2 out of 3. They're either going to split the series or win it. And C.J. had one of his best starts of the year. He struck out 10, pitched a little bit like Cliff Lee as far as using his sinker on the outside corner as well as a cutter, and a good slider, mixed up his pitches. He walked 4 or 5 guys in that game, but really, he was in complete control of a good team at Fenway Park.
10 of his 20 outs were strikeouts, and he's matched up tonight against Joe Saunders, who has been sliced and diced nearly beyond recognition when he pitches against the Rangers, and especially in this ballpark. He's got to face Vladimir Guerrero and company. Vladdy against his old team has just been dynamite this year. The Rangers and the Angels are good to go. We'll have the first pitch for you when we come back on TX AT 21. Brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Also by Standard Insurance. Call 1-800-929-2424. And by AT&T. See what's new from AT&T. Go to att.com for details. Well, about 20 years ago, there was a song written called When the Angels Fall. And the rest of us are pretty much waiting for that to actually happen. Every year, Mike Scioscia's team has turnover and injuries and challenges. And it seems like every year, they find a way to win 95 games or so. But, Tom, this year they are 6 games behind the Rangers with 65 games to go. The Rangers feeling pretty good about things right now. It would help tonight, obviously, if C.J. Wilson can tame these guys. The 1 through 9, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Bobby Abreu. Torrey Hunter, Mike Napoli, and Juan Rivera. Alberto Callaspo just coming over from the Royals, and he always seems to hit the Rangers very well. Kevin Franzen gets a rare start at first base tonight. And Reggie Willits, the native Oklahoman, is in left field. Batting ninth for the Angels, who are 51-47. Again, 6 games behind the Rangers, who trot out C.J. tonight.
Yeah, it's been an excellent season for C.J. He started taking a start every time. He's pitched over 6 innings per start. He's got the second best opponent's batting average, the 12th best ERA. His last 9 starts have been terrific. 5-2, 295. Over that time, a 188 opponent's batting average. Second in the AL in both opponent's batting average and opponent's slugging percentage. The one area, if you look at CJ and you want to nitpick a little bit that he could improve on, is his bases on balls. He's walked about 4 to 5 guys a game. That's a few too many. But when you look at the overall work that he's done this year and the fact that he hasn't started at the big league level except for early in his career, it's an outstanding year for CJ. He's been everything and more the Rangers hoped.
He is learning from Cliff Lee and happy to be doing that. And maybe the best thing that he can learn from Cliff Lee, what you just mentioned, Tom, whereas CJ leads the American League with 60 walks, Cliff Lee has walked only 7. One of those was intentional. None last night as he went 8 1/3, wanted to go 9. Tried to talk Ron Washington into it, but Wash said, I got Neftali Feliz, I'm going there. And the Rangers won by Ron Washington's favorite score of 3-2. You've got Murphy, Hamilton, and Cruz in the outfield. Your usuals in the infield. Matt Trainer catching C.J. Wilson tonight. And as Tom Grieve gets ushered in to that Rangers Hall of Fame tomorrow night, we find a fan who wears what Tom Grieve kind of used to wear back in the day.
That looks familiar. Yeah, you're talking about Cliff Lee. I don't think I've seen Tommy Hunter, except when Cliff Lee has been pitching anywhere but right next to Cliff Lee. Picking his brain. And it's you talked about CJ. I think it's affected CJ. Definitely affected Tommy. And how many more fastballs and fewer curveballs. And he's pitched really well in his 2 starts. And that's a smart thing to do. Take advantage of everything that's there to help you.
There's usually an alpha, and Tommy Hunter is just kind of following that alpha right now. Cliff Lee has settled into that role, and as C.J. Wilson said, I thought it was a great line. He said, I can't access Sandy Koufax, so I'm more than happy to pick the brain of Cliff Lee.
And just because you watch Cliff Lee and talk to him doesn't mean you're going to go out there and walk 7 guys and strike out 100 guys in 100 innings. But you can get better, and you can improve your style, and you can improve the way you attack hitters. But still, the fact that he doesn't walk anybody and has that kind of control, that's pure talent.
Meantime, Eric Ibar continues to assert himself as a pest, hitting about .350 against the Rangers this year. Now he's a threat to run. Howie Kendrick comes up next. Now, CJ, you might remember, started the season with 7 consecutive quality starts. No Ranger had ever done that in the history of the franchise. And what's so stunning that CJ would be the one to do it is he hadn't started a game in 5 years.
If you look at CJ's season, you talked about the first 7 starts. His last 8 starts have been really good. The only blip were the 4 starts right in the middle. In those 4 starts, he was 1-2. His ERA was 8.5. But 15 of his 19 starts in 2 different stretches resulted in a really good record, 7-3, and an ERA right around 2, a little over 2.
On the ground is short. Andrews has got it. And he'll take it himself for the double play behind C.J. Wilson.
Well, that's one thing you expect from C.J. To get ground balls. He throws a hard sinker. He should get ground balls. You just hope they're hit at somebody, and that one certainly was.
C.J. has talked about it, saying having Elvis and Michael Young very sure-handed on that left side. His quote was, he said, if just one of those guys wasn't sure-handed, it would complicate my strategy. And now what he tells himself when a righty is up is, okay, if he hits the ground ball, I just want him to pull it. And he figures he's going to be just fine.
Well, he's going to be fine if they don't pull it, too, because Chris and Ian are on the other side. So he's got the ground ball area covered.
Against a lefty like Abreu, C.J. does the heavy lifting all by himself. He has just decimated lefties this year. 9 for 97 are opposing lefties. One of those 9, though, was Bobby Abreu with a double. And that's, I mean, 3 doubles allowed all year to left-hand batters. No triples, no homers. That's pretty remarkable because we're getting late in towards the end of July. Elvis right there. A 1-2-3 inning for C.J. Wilson. A Cliff Lee-like 9 pitches. And now Joe Saunders will have to deal with Elvis when we come back. From Eric Ibar, and then nothing else happened. The Rangers now go to work against Joe Saunders. 6-9 for the year, an ERA of close to 5. That is not what they were expecting out of the one-time first-round draft pick. The Ranger lineup features Andrewson, Young, Kinsler, and Guerrero. Josh Hamilton leading the majors, hitting .353. Nelly Cruz has been real hot of late. Murphy, Trainer, and Davis, the bottom third of the order, and Joe Saunders. Boy, against the Rangers, it has been a nightmare. And for the years, we mentioned a 6-9 record, coming off back-to-back starts where he's allowed 10 hits and 5 runs. And that bottom one, I think, Tag, is really the one that has got to freak him out. I mean, 5 starts, 12 home runs.
It would me. Yeah, he has not had a lot of success against the Rangers. There's no doubt about that.
I don't know how that can't get in your head. Joe Saunders is a talented guy and was expected to be a 17 or 18 game winner for the Angels this year. Really didn't seem that out of the realm.
Well, he's won 16 last year, 17 the year before. His ERA last year was about a run higher than it was this year, but 33 and 14 the last 2 years. He's a very good pitcher. He just has not pitched well against the Rangers. Overall in his career, 14 home runs in 51 innings.
And again, 12 of them right here.
Yeah. In career, he's 54 and 31. He's 23 games over 500 in his short career.
He does take care of Andrews to get the Rangers night started. Michael Young comes up next. He had a first-inning home run yesterday. Willis, Hunter, and Rivera in the outfield. The newly acquired Alberto Callaspo at third with Ibar, Kendrick, and Cranston. Mike Napoli's had to play a lot of first base, but now he's back to where he really likes it, back behind the plate as a catcher. Kayaspo, a guy that was really underrated with the Royals the last couple of years. We were talking about this before the game, Tom. He had 60 extra base hits last year. That is twice as many as Vlad had last year. It's about twice as many as Josh Hamilton had in a down year last year. Obviously, Vladdy is back stronger than ever here in 2010. Same for Josh Hamilton, so it's not going to repeat. But
I think 60 extra base hits is a pretty solid year. If you're not a home run hitter, basically what it is, it's 40 doubles, 5 triples, and 15 home runs. Those are pretty solid extra base numbers right there.
And if you add it up, that's more than Bobby Abreu did last year. It's more than Torrey Hunter, their cleanup man, did last year. So not to be dismissed lightly, this pickup of Kayaspo. The Angels have had to make some adjustments, mostly because Kendry Morales, the guy that was supposed to be their big RBI guy, got lost for the year, celebrating a walk-off homer at home plate. Broke his leg jumping up and down. That's why Mike Scioscia looks a little disturbed and concerned. Among other reasons, his team is 6 behind now. They're not used to this. They've won 5 of the last 6 AL West titles, and most of the time they just kind of coasted on home. Towards the crowd, which is expected to swell to close to 42,000 tonight. Got some late arrivals with some backed up traffic out there on I-30.
It might end up being more than that. When you look at the upper deck, there's people sitting in every single part of the upper deck, which leads you to believe everything else is going to fill in. And this might be close to a sellout tonight when it's all over and done with.
It's a big rainstorm that moved through here at around 4 o'clock, 4:30. You see the Chatterbats that are the giveaway tonight. Michael Young hoisting it to left center. Homered in the first inning yesterday, and he is homered tonight. It is 1-0.
Well, guys, you kind of set that home run up describing what Joe Saunders has faced in this ballpark. And if he came into the game lacking confidence because of what's happened in the past, he's just been exaggerated a little bit right off the bat when the second hitter of the game hits one 410 feet to left center field. I guess he's trying not to walk him. He throws it up inner part of the plate. And Michael this time goes to left. Last night he went to right.
Michael was asked the question after the game yesterday, was that a playoff atmosphere? And with a deadpan delivery, he said, how would I know? And that's true. I mean, Michael has never been in the postseason, wants it so bad. And in this series where the Rangers can vault way beyond the Angels, you talk about taking matters into your own hands. Homering in the first inning both nights. And now Kinsler, who has 4 homers against Joe Saunders in 21 at-bats. We mentioned the 15-game hitting streak for Kinsler, so this is as confident as he's been in a while. Boy, and he was dazzling defensively last night, too. The Rangers played a pretty complete game and won that thing 3-2. The chants of "Beat LA" resonated in the 9th inning. 40,000 people here in this ballpark yesterday. Kinsler just keeps hitting Saunders. Not out of the yard this time, but pushing it into right to make him 10 for 22 lifetime against him.
And the other thing Ian keeps doing is he keeps hitting the ball away to right field and pulling the ball in. Just hitting the ball exactly how you should.
The Rangers against the Angels overall this year, with Vlad Guerrero coming up right now. He's ahead of the class. And it's only fair, Tag. I mean, he hit about that as an Angel against the Rangers for 6 years. Remember, he hit safely the first 44 games against the Rangers. And again, for years, the Angels provided that roadblock that the Rangers just couldn't scale past. It really does begin to look like that's flipping now. And you got to say that part of the reason the Rangers are starting to do what they're doing to the Angels, they're beating them with their own discarded guys, whether it be Vlad Guerrero or Darren Oliver or Darren O'Day. The way the Angels bullpen has been, boy, could they use Oliver and O'Day. And who couldn't use what Vladdy's provided? 315 batting average, 20 homers, 76 runs batted in. That's 26 more than he had all of last year.
Yeah, could add a couple other numbers to that too.
Wave and a miss, and Saunders does strike out Vladdy. Brings up Josh Hamilton.
When Josh is swinging the bat, when Vladdy's swinging the bat well, he'll never miss that pitch. That was a fastball, nothing really fancy, not a foot out of the strike zone down and away, but actually a pitch for Vladdy that I think he normally drives. He just missed it that time.
Rangers already up 1-0, and here's the man who's leading the majors in a lot of different things, Josh Hamilton. We were talking about this yesterday, Tom, that he's just settled into this ballpark and made it his own. A .370 batting average here in Arlington this year. Only one of his last 32 games in this park does he not have a hit. Josh had a 9-pitch at bat in the 8th inning yesterday. It led to a walk. Had I think it was 4 2-strike fouls to get it there. That's just one of the little things he's doing. That catch he almost made in left field to rob Maicera's tourists. They would have been talking about that for days. The closing speed that he showed to get to that ball in the first place. I mean, for a big guy like that, just incredible. Now Saunders again going off speed, and Josh behind 0-2. So accustomed to the big things with Josh, those tape measure homers and things like that, but the defense, the 9-pitch at bats leading to walks, the catch he made in the 9th inning going towards the line, all those things are, I think, noteworthy when you consider a candidacy for MVP. Kinsler goes. He's been picked off. And he is going to be tagged out. That means Josh will be at the plate in the bottom of the 2nd. The Rangers in the 1st got a run on a Michael Young home run. Ian will empty some dirt from his pants. And we will show you this instead. What made it 1-0 Texas. and Ryan. It's the Rangers Hall of Fame induction weekend. A lot of fun to be had tonight and tomorrow. The Rangers lead 1-0. Second inning, and we go to Julie Dobbs.
Hey, Josh. Yes, I'm here in the TXA 21 and Texas Rangers Foundation Community Corner. And our guest tonight is Randall Meadows with the Texas Peace Officer Memorial Fund. Why don't you tell us a little bit, first of all, about your organization and what y'all do?
The Texas POMF, what they do is that we honor those law enforcement officers that have made the ultimate sacrifice and have died in the line of duty. We have an annual memorial every year, and then biannually we have a huge memorial during the legislative season. And it's our goal is to honor the memory of the law enforcement officers, men and women, that have died in the line of duty in the state of Texas.
And tonight was Law Enforcement Appreciation Night at the ballpark. What all did that entail?
Well, it was a really exciting night. We really appreciate it, and the Texas Rangers are really doing a lot to help us out. They were great to say that they want to honor the Peace Officer Memorial Foundation and those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Had families of fallen officers that are here tonight. They're doing a great host and just really helping out the families in that aspect and letting the kids come out and have a great day at the ballpark.
Sounds awesome. And if fans out there want to get involved, what do they do? We need to do? Where do they need to go?
Go to pomf.org, and all the information's on the website, and we're glad to help out. And if anybody wants to help out, we're glad to have them.
Sounds great. We're glad to have you, Randall. Josh, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Julie. And Torrey Hunter, who has homered twice this year against C.J. Wilson, gave it a ride, but didn't quite get it that time. He's the first out of the second inning.
Last start that C.J. had in Boston, he did a really good job against the right-hand hitters, occasionally coming in, but basically keeping the ball away by throwing a ball that tailed away from them on the outside corner, and then a slider that came back and caught the outside corner. That was a really good combination for him. He also threw some changeups, some curveballs, mixed his pitches up really well.
Got to be real careful to Napoli the way he's swinging the bat of late. 11 for his last 24 with 4 jacks. Had one last night.
He had one last night. Cliff Lee was trying to hit the outside corner with a breaking ball, and it started on the outside corner and came back to the middle of the plate. He was able to hit it out of the ballpark. The last pitch CJ threw, that slider or cutter, caught the outside corner, and that's a pitch very difficult right there. Very difficult to hit a home run on. It looks like it's outside, comes back and catches the outside corner. When Cliff pitches, he doesn't do that very often, and that was just one he didn't get away with last night.
After CJ lost 2-1 to Jared Weaver and the Angels about 3 weeks ago in Anaheim, he proclaimed, and I guess it could be construed as bulletin board material or whatever, Tom, but he said, we are the better team. We feel good about everything. And CJ trying to back that up tonight. He's pitching real well early.
Yeah, and I think if you look at that, it was just an honest thing. He felt that. He said that. Might be better off not saying it maybe in those words. You want to have confidence in your team. But I think everyone on the Ranger team feels that they are the better team. That's just the way it is. They're in first place. They're playing well, and they feel that well. CJ just came out and said it. Maybe that's a little bit dangerous to do if you're worried about bulletin board material.
Although I don't know about you, I've never really bought that in baseball. You play 162 games, and just because some guy does or does not pop off, you're going to try harder or less hard. I mean,
yeah, I don't know, but it must have something to do somewhere, because they talk about it in every sport.
Yeah. Napoli, kind of like what happened with Torrey Hunter. Hits it on the end of the bat, goes near the track, but not to it.
Might come into play a little bit more in football, where you're gearing up for the big game on the weekend, and maybe you can affect the emotions of the team over that week leading up to the game. But you're right, in baseball, when you play every day, it probably doesn't have a whole lot to do with anything.
And the Rangers did beat Jared Weaver yesterday. Made him throw 118 pitches in 6 innings. Just wore him out. Cliff Lee, 99 pitches to get career win, number 99. Weaver, as always, battled. I mean, he's a heck of a competitor. But the Rangers had him talking to himself when he left the mound a couple times. It was not PG rated either.
Good job so far in this game, keeping the ball on the outside corner, too. Both Hunter and Napoli have hit lazy fly balls to right field on pitches away. And there's strike one to Rivera, right on the outside corner.
And Rivera, a noted second-half player. Been that way for years, and sure enough, he's hitting .407 since the All-Star break. One of those righties that you just have to be careful with. Andrews for the dive, couldn't get it. Rivera stays hot, and that's the second Angel hit. And now Callaspo. Wouldn't it surprise you if Elvis would have found a way to make a miracle play right there? The Rangers, as we mentioned yesterday, just put on a defensive show.
That's kind of what we're talking about. CJ trying to hit the outside corner, brought it back right in the middle of the plate, and Rivera hit that ball hard. That's really what pitching and hitting is all about. The pitcher trying to make his pitch, and when he does, he genuinely enjoys success. And when he misses, the hitter has a much better chance of having success himself. That time CJ threw a pitch a few inches away from where he wanted to, caught the middle of the plate, turned into a base hit. Now he's right back on the outside corner for the first pitch to Callaspo.
Callaspo actually started his professional career with the Angels. Rookie ball all the way up to AAA and then got dealt to Arizona. So he's not completely unfamiliar with the Angels, and looks like he'll be an Angel for a while, Tom. His contract goes through 2013. Everybody's wondering what that means for Brandon Wood, who was supposed to be the third baseman this year and for many more. Towards first, and there's Davis, and that's C.J. Wilson getting out of the second inning.
Another pitch away, weakly hit the other way.
Hamilton will be at the plate when we come back. Being brought to you by Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota moving forward. Take two for Josh Hamilton. He was at the plate when Kinsler was picked off. That ended the first, and now we begin the second with the Rangers leading 1-0 on a Michael Young homer. Second straight night we said that. Talking about Josh's offense and, of course, his defense. And well, he made a couple nice running catches and left last night and almost got to this one, too. That would have been something. In fact, he did get to a tag. It looked like he almost overran it.
Actually, hit right off the top of his glove. I think if he could reach his glove another maybe 2 inches more, would have been right underneath that finger and into the pocket of his glove.
A guy that size who runs that hard. He's 6'4", 235. But the way he just thunders after baseballs out there in the outfield, I mean, you almost have to be here to really get a sense of it. And he takes so much pride in his defense anyway. Remember, he told us last year, Tag, he said hitting homers is fun, but my favorite thing to do in baseball is throwing out a runner at home plate.
Well, yeah, I think he's become the best left fielder in the league, one of the best outfielders in the league. And at the end of the season, it's hard to predict who wins a Gold Glove. It's not scientifically chosen, but he should win a Gold Glove based on the way he's played defense this year. And there's so many balls he's cut off in the gap or gone to the line to retrieve, throw into second, hold the runner to a single, when most left fielders would have given up doubles.
Hamilton coaxes a walk. I mentioned that 9-pitch at bat he had yesterday. 6 to get this walk to bring up Nelson Cruz. And kind of true to form here, Tom. 3 of the first 5 Rangers have reached against Joe Saunders.
That was good at bat for Josh, who was behind in the count. Saunders dropped in a couple of curveballs, and then Josh just waited him out, fouled off a couple, got speed on, leadoff hitter on.
Ironic that the Chatterbat giveaways against the Angels, that was the big thing when they were winning that World Series in 2002. Gave him out to not just 15,000 fans, but every fan, all during the playoffs and during the World Series. Sounded like a bunch of rattlesnakes had invaded that stadium. Cruz sweeps it into the hole. Great get right there, but no way. Ibar at least was able to get the glove around it. But you're not going to get Josh Hamilton, and the Rangers have 2 on, nobody out.
Well, the only thing that could have happened with that throw was something bad. You weren't going to get him. And there's a good, decent chance maybe you throw the ball away and it ends up then on second and third. That's one you just hang on to. No sense throwing it.
Kendrick seemed a little bit surprised that he had anything to do right there. With 2 on, it's David Murphy batting. Third baseman Cayaspo was running in looking bunt. Murphy didn't show it.
David's been a .274 hitter against left-handed pitching. He's actually hitting higher against lefties than he is righties. And he's gotten a pretty good chance to face lefties this year.
Yeah,
it's usually when Bourbon doesn't bat against a lefty, it's David that fills in a left-hand batter against that tough left-hand pitcher.
One of the 4 home runs was on that road trip in Detroit. 427 feet dead center. Lift off towards right. That's Rivera out there tonight, not Abreu, and Hamilton's trying it. Hamilton diving in there. He's out at third base. Rivera mostly plays left, only occasionally plays right. Is known for having a pretty good arm. The Rangers stay aggressive on the bases. That's been their calling card now for a couple of years. But Hamilton thrown out at third.
Yeah, Rivera's a below average outfielder. And I would probably say 8 times out of 10, he's not going to make that throw. He made that throw that time, and you have to give him credit for it. But I think in that situation, the opportunity to get a man at third base with 1 out, a guy with Josh's speed, that's a gamble worth taking. It was foiled by a very accurate throw by Rivera, who, chances are, won't do that the next time.
Now, the Rangers in this game have already made outs at every base. If you count a strikeout as making an out at home. Andrews grounded out, was out at first. Kinsler was out at second on the pickoff, and now Hamilton is gunned down trying to get to third. Trainer chips one on the ground at second base. And what started out as a promising inning fizzles for the Rangers. Their lead is still 1-0 tonight at the end of 2. After the game this evening, the Rangers lead the game 1-0. And folks, a reminder, you can get half-price tickets online for the game this coming Wednesday against Oakland. It's an Ozarka website Wednesday. Tickets available in a variety of seating areas. TexasRangers.com is how to get it done. It was 95 degrees this afternoon when some of us were on our way to attend the Tom Grieve luncheon for the Hall of Fame. The rain has moved on through. It's now 77 degrees at the ballpark, but boy, it's humid still.
A little bit humid, but for this time of year, quite comfortable for a baseball game in Texas.
And what a wonderful luncheon it was today, by the way, partner. That was a lot of fun to be at, and you and your panelists were very entertaining.
Well, it was. I thought it went very well. John Radigan did a great job trying to give everybody a chance to talk. When you've got 6 guys sitting there and 1 moderator, it's not an easy job, but I thought he did a great job.
The Hall of Fame induction ceremony for Mr. Tom Grieve is tomorrow at 7. The game has been pushed back to 7:30 for the start time. TexasRangers.com to get your tickets. There's a big swing by Franzen. And again, Nelly Cruz backtracking. He's made 3 backpedaling catches already. And Tom Grieve, that's Tom over there. Going into that Ranger Hall of Fame, you've been hearing from a lot of well-wishers.
This is our guest broadcaster right here.
This is Catherine, who's been, I was going to say lucky enough to win a contest to be up here. I don't know if she's really feeling lucky because she's got to sit next to us. But
I think she's kind of shy.
Yeah, well, no, she's got a nice smile.
No, she's not.
No,
she's happy to be.
Give her that
TV.
headset. I bet you'd find out otherwise. Well, anyway, once again, Tom, a lot of people wanting to pass along their congratulations to you and those who can't do it in person. I'm sure kind of doing it through their TVs tonight and tomorrow. The entirety of the ceremony will be carried on Fox Sports Southwest tomorrow, and then at 7:30 first pitch, Scott Feldman against Urban Santana. Switch hitting Reggie Willits. 9th man in the order for Mike Scioscia. Doesn't play that much. Scioscia loading up with switch hitters tonight. Those who can bat righty against C.J. Wilson. Obviously, that's what the Angels would like to do. Lefties are now 1 for their last 30 tag against C.J.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. They really, you think he would hang one often enough to give left-handers a chance to hit above 100 against him anyway.
CJ is so well prepared, and that goes back a long way. He talks about how when he was in the minors, A ball, double A, he would keep these huge notebooks on every hitter that he faced. He would draw their feet and draw their swing path in his notebook. Here's a line shot base hit by Willis, and he's a threat to run now that he's on. CJ had one of those 4-colored pens, those big, thick 4-colored pens, and you had to push down with your fingernail the different colors, the red, the blue, the green, the black. And he would diagram what every hitter he faced in A ball and double A, what their tendencies were. And, of course, now the technology is a lot different. CJ is way into video, and you don't need that big, thick, push-down 4-color pen anymore. You can just go and access everything you need on a DVD, and CJ is all about that. They say that luck favors the prepared, and CJ Wilson just doesn't want to be caught unprepared. Another one towards right. Nelson Cruz coming on. And he's 4 for 4 catching balls out there.
Yeah, and he's had 4 easy chances, weakly hit balls the other way. CJ kind of picking up right where he left off against the Red Sox, although against the Red Sox he had 10 strikeouts. Doesn't appear he's going to have a strikeout type of game today, but he's definitely keeping the ball away from the middle of the plate, and the Angels not getting a lot of good swings at good pitches to hit.
Yeah, no strikeouts now. 10 batters into the game, and well, if he's learning from Cliff Lee, as we've been talking about, this is kind of the Cliff Lee MO. Get a lot of fly balls chipped up into the air that don't do that much.
Well, he's already thrown that pitch and it'd be that location to a right-hand hitter 15 times so far in the game, and that's a good sign, being able to pinpoint your fastball on the outside corner. I think what CJ's doing, and I think it's a Cliff Lee influence, is he's simplifying his pitching repertoire with more pitches like that near the outside corner, fewer times using 4 or 5 different kind of pitches in an inning, curveballs, changeups. I don't think he's trying to overanalyze the type of pitches he's throwing. He's simplifying it, concentrating on the outside corner with a couple of different types of fastballs. And there's another one.
Yep, he gets a nice tidy hop to Ian Kinsler, who knows what to do with that. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd at the ballpark tonight. The Rangers leading 1-0. Davis coming up. Texas Ranger Baseball on TXA 21, brought to you by Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. Now, the Rangers leading because of a Michael Young first-inning homer, the 13th homer that Joe Saunders has allowed to the Rangers in this ballpark in 6 starts. One of them was hit by this guy, Chris Davis. And here's a weird one for you, Tom. No homers for Davis, but 2 stolen bases as a Ranger this year.
I thought he hit one last night that was going to be a home run off Jared Weaver. It looked like he hit it well to right center field, and it just kind of died at the warning track. I'm not sure what the circumstances were. I'm pretty sure he hit the ball well. There was definitely on that ball not a jet stream blowing out of here. Otherwise, that one I thought would have gone well out of here.
There's going to be some home runs from Davis coming. Remember when he first got to the Rangers a couple of years ago? He homered every 17 at-bats his rookie season. He was the first Ranger rookie ever to do that. And at AAA this year, in the couple months he spent down there, 10 home runs. Taking here, and down he goes. Now, Saunders so far has given up just that home run to Young, and otherwise has been okay.
I want to thank the cookie lady, Shirley Coast, for a great batch of maple frosting pineapple cookies, and also Amanda Henry from Grand Prairie, Texas.
Yeah.
She runs Manda's Cookie Jar in Grand Prairie. Sent us a beautiful cookie bouquet. Thank you very much, Amanda. That'll last us a while.
I don't know. We have some people up here that can eat, Tag. Some real eaters up here.
We're going to need them because we just got another box of goodies from Sherry Blevins from Wichita Falls, Texas. And another one. They're coming in as I speak. Sarah Singer from Wiley, Texas. Another batch of cookies. Wow, we just hit the Jets. That's like playing the slot machine. Pulling at one time and having 5 things come out.
I have a sneaking suspicion, though. You and I are basically Hansel and Gretel here. They're just fattening us up. We're getting all these goodies coming in every night.
Well, we've got a lot of people that appreciate it. So Sherry Blevins from Wichita Falls, Sarah Singer from Wiley, Texas, Amanda Henry from Grand Prairie, and Shirley Coast, our cookie lady from Arlington. Thank you very much, ladies.
Shirley and Cal Coast have been part of the group that's been changing the numbers out there in right field. Nolan Ryan's spring training prediction of 92 wins. They've been tracking how close the Rangers are getting to 92. And it's been kind of a fun tote board out there. Deep in the hole at short. Nice play by Ibar to get Andrews. 2 guys who I think for years are going to be real good rivals. A couple of slick fielding shortstops, same initials. Eric Ibar, Elvis Andrews. They'll face each other 19 times a year for many years. One just got the other. And now Young, who was trying to get the Rangers to that 57th win of the year. I don't know what that fraction simplifies down to. My math skills have eroded, Tom, but I know they're more than halfway there.
Well, it's a good thing they're more than halfway there because we're more than halfway through the season. So right on track, I guess, is a good way of saying it.
I'm doing the math by hand here. 28 over 46, 14 over 24. 7/12 of the way there, Tom.
All right.
Thank you.
It is more than half.
Yep.
Now that you've got it down that far for me.
Breaking ball is strong. You're the math major from Michigan, not me.
That was a long time ago. That brain doesn't exist anymore.
Well, whatever you got now, though, it's all good.
Part of it's still there, though.
Well, the part that remembers your acceptance speech tomorrow, make sure that one is in working order.
Well, I'll have to remember some, and I'll have to be able to read some. Thank goodness I've got my new pair of glasses.
They look very handsome, too. Way to go.
They're very functional now.
3-2 pitch. Young to right field again. To the track. At the wall. Almost did it one more time. He's to second base with a double. That close to having 2 homers in 3 innings.
Yeah, I thought the way that Rivera was playing that ball in right field, he was just looking up, watching it go out of the ballpark. But he was looking up, watching it come down and hit the wall. Ball's away. Michael had to reach for this one just a little bit. Still drove it pretty well. Rivera kind of gives up on it, and it's about halfway up the wall. A somewhat catchable ball. Not an easily catchable ball. Maybe Ian get another base hit and pick up that run right here.
Now remember, he's got 4 homers in 22 career at-bats against Saunders. Take you back to Rivera, trying to go back and get this thing.
Let's see if he had a chance to catch it. He kind of gives up on it right here. Watches it come down, and you know, I think if he took 2 more steps, jumped up against the wall, he had a chance to catch it. And if he missed it, it was going to be a double anyway. No need to play it off the wall when you got Torrey Hunter out there in center field.
The Angels defense at the corners has been a little dicey all year, and in the middle of that is a 9-time Gold Glover with Torrey Hunter. I mentioned Abreu normally is in right, but tonight it is Rivera. Hammered, and Teospo makes the play. Taking one away from Ian Kinsler, so already paying some dividends coming over in that deal yesterday. Teospo taking care of Kinsler, and it stays 1-0. Go to the 4th and say hello to Julie Dobbs again.
Yes, hi Josh and hi Tom. I have a special announcement to make about one Tom Grieve. Yes, tomorrow night he will be inducted into the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame. It'll happen right before the game, pre-game, so we need all the fans out here to support Tom. It's just going to be a great Saturday night out here at the ballpark. You'll have Game 3 versus the Angels, the induction of Tom Grieve into the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame, and also a post-game concert by Stoney LaRue presented by Verizon Wireless. So fans, you won't want to miss this. Get out here tomorrow night. It's going to be a fun one. Josh, and future Hall of Famer Tom Grieve, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Julie, very much.
Thank you, Julie.
So many of Tom's so many of Tom's former teammates coming today to that luncheon we mentioned. And the panelists were so much fun to listen to, from Toby Harrah to Charlie Huff to Nolan Ryan, Rusty Greer, Jim Sundberg.
Yeah, Nolan kind of brought the house down with his comment about ownership changes.
Wait, you're saying there's going to be an ownership change?
Well, there's supposed to be.
I hadn't heard that. Yeah, Nolan talking about how when he first signed with the Rangers in '89, Now, one of the things that was on his mind was an ownership change here. Things had to be resolved before he took that plunge with you and Bobby Valentine. Like the story you told about you and Bobby V high-fiving after you got the good word.
We were happy like fans were happy when we got Nolan.
Abreu busts it down the line, but he's out. Toyota presents the American League scoreboard. Toyota on the road, and we'll show you what's what tonight. The Yankees in the rain right now, leading Kansas City. Baltimore's up on Minnesota 3-2. Cleveland 2-1, and again there's rain as they lead Tampa Bay. Detroit and Toronto already postponed because of rain.
Wow. A rainy night.
We heard earlier tonight there was some sort of like tornado threat that went all the way from somehow from New York to North Dakota, which I find remarkable.
Those three cities were right in the middle of it. Pretty good pitch right there. Just must have been a little bit low.
And Torrey Hunter, who had a fourth inning home run against C.J. Wilson here back in May. C.J. knows to pitch this guy carefully. You know, in that game, Tom, C.J. had actually retired 10 straight at the beginning of the game, and then things just started to fall apart real quick. He hadn't allowed a home run all year. 7 starts into his season. But then Torrey Hunter took him deep, and the wheels just fell right off.
Yeah, I think that was a good experience for CJ and a good lesson. He went from right on top of his game to faltering a little bit and then not being able to get it back. And I think from time to time when that happens since then, has happened since then, he's been able to get it back.
Well, a good example was the last time he pitched here in this ballpark. He had that really wonky 32-pitch second inning against the Orioles and found a way to persevere into the 5th. But yeah, that start against the Angels in May started a run that was just awful for him. And at the time that it started, his ERA was 1.39, leading the league. That's a great way to come back on Torrey Hunter. From 3-0 to 3-1, get him to roll out to short. Yeah, heading into that 4th inning, May 18th against the Angels, Tom, ERA in the 1.3s. And sitting on top of the AL, Cliff Lee style. But then 7 runs in against the Angels, 5 in his next start against the Cubs, 5 against the Twins, 5 against Tampa Bay after that. And it was like, uh-oh. But now he's got it going again. His last 3 starts combined in it tonight, he'd allowed only 8 base hits. Vladdy really wants to hit again. And he'll have that chance soon. Getting set to lead off in the bottom of the 4th. As Vladdy gets ready, Mike Napoli has one tracked down by Josh Hamilton. Hamilton will follow Vlad Guerrero as the Rangers get set to hit in the bottom of the 4th. Vlad Guerrero settles into that batter's box. He's been destroying the Angels this year, just as he, as an Angel, used to destroy the Rangers. Vladdy is 11 out of 24. 4 homers, 9 batted in about 6 games against the Angels. Last year just wasn't healthy. And the Angels, well, they ended up with Hideki Matsui for this year as their DH, and Matsui's been fine. It's just Vladdy's been a lot better. Looking to get back to the postseason to prove that he can produce when it matters the most. He's got 75 career postseason at bats, and strangely, Tag, only 2 extra base hits. And you have a sense that things might be a little different this year if indeed the Rangers get where they want to go. Took a big 2-0 swing right there. Now it's 2-1.
Yeah, that's the second fastball that he's missed tonight, and that one is on a 2-0 count, to where he's probably looking for a fastball, and he actually gets a pitch that's a strike.
And carves that one back into the crowd.
Yeah, Vladdy's shaking his head. He's just, timing's not quite there right now.
No, we saw that happen to Nelson Cruz for a little bit, but he's bounced right back with what, an 11-game hit streak now.
Even the great hitters go through short stretches where they're not catching up with pitches they normally catch up with.
Yeah.
There's 2-0 count, and Saunders went at him with 3 straight fastballs. Fouled one, missed 2 of them. And in this particular at-bat, in this particular game, Saunders got away with those 3 pitches. There will come a time later in the season where that same attempt might result in something other than a strikeout.
Only the second time this year, Tom, that Vladdy has struck out in back-to-back at-bats. And now Josh Hamilton, who walked in the second.
My prediction is before the game's over, Josh hits a curveball for a home run.
Okay. I'm writing that down.
It's not really a call because you got to be more specific than that.
You're just saying at some point look for that.
I think he's going to throw him a curveball. He's going to hit a home run.
And Josh has been hitting just about everything over the last 7 weeks. His breaking ball has stayed up. Since the 1st of June, and that is 7 weeks now we're talking about, he's hitting .430. A lot of guys can't do that for 1 week. We gave the stat the other night, Tom, that since June 1st, there's only 1 batter in baseball other than Josh hitting above .360 for that long of a stretch. It's David Wright. The heck with .360, he's hitting .430. And he's up here 3-1.
Well, he walked last time up, so you know Saunders is being careful with him.
Cruz to follow, and that hit streak actually now at 12 because of that infield hit in the second for Nelson. Big swing, but he couldn't get it. 3-2 now. And give Saunders some credit, I guess. Tom, looked like the same old for him. About 6-7 batters into the game, but things have not gotten away from him. Not yet. In Saunders' 6 wins this year, his ERA is under 1, 0.96. In his 9 losses, his ERA is 9. So those are 2 polar extremes. And kind of mirrors what the Angels have been all about in 2010. Hamilton scorching that one into center. One on, one out. Cruz coming up in Texas Ranger baseball tonight on TXA 21. Being brought to you by Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota moving forward. If you chart players with up arrows or down arrows or just, kind of neutral Right now, Cruz has the up arrow. Things are trending very positively for him. His 12-game hitting streak is a career best, and has taken his batting average from 280 all the way up to 327. Boy, Nelson was another guy last night, Tom, that just played a fantastic game defensively.
He's played really good defense. He gets better and better. Had a really good defensive series against the Red Sox. And last night was really a nice defensive effort, too.
In front of the largest Thursday night crowd in this ballpark, non-Yankees, non-Red Sox crowd anyway, on a Thursday night in about 10 years. And even a bigger crowd here tonight. Probably going to be about 45,000 would be my guess. Little bloop shot towards right. That's going to dunk down and send Hamilton wheeling around towards third. Runners at the corners and just one out. And they just can't stop Nelson Cruz.
And Nelson had an infield hit the first time up. Ground ball in the hole between short and third. And Saunders made a pretty good pitch right there. Jammed him, hit him off the hands. Dumped it in front of Rivera in right field. And Josh got a good read on it. Knew it was going to fall in and took third easily. It's a good pitch by Saunders. Just didn't get a good result.
And you saw Tommy Hunter supply the antlers for Josh Hamilton, signifying the great speed to get from first to third. Murphy will bat now, and for the second time he'll be batting with a man in scoring position. Remember last time he flied to shallow right, and Josh Hamilton was caught trying to sneak on into third base. Again, the Rangers last night winning 3-2. With Cliff Lee going 8 1/3. Wanting so badly to go 9. Tried to talk Ron Washington into it respectfully, but Wash was pretty resolute. He had Neftali Feliz ready. And Feliz ended up saving his 26th of the year. You know, Andrew Bailey last year saved that number, 26, and he was Rookie of the Year. Feliz qualifies as a rookie this year. He's got 26 on July 23rd.
He's got a chance to save more than Andrew Bailey. Biggest reason is the Rangers are going to win more games this year than Oakland won last year, so he might get more opportunities.
Murphy a wave and a miss.
Well, Saunders has struck out 3 in the game, and he's definitely thinking about a strikeout right here. David now with 2 strikes needs to go to a 2-strike approach. Want to put the ball in play. Fly ball scores a run. Josh, we should mention that Greg Smith is one of the Rangers' excellent Major League scouts, and he has a daughter, Jennifer. She's 17 from Davenport, Washington. In fact, she's 17 today. Happy birthday, Jennifer. She's watching the game with her mom back home. Greg sends happy birthday wishes to Jennifer.
Greg, one of the many outstanding scouts that the Rangers have in their employ. The 2-2. There's a fly ball, but it's not deep enough. And really the second time tonight that Saunders has won out in that situation against David. Yes, the Rangers are leading, but boy, they had the 2 on, nobody out in the second. Had a runner in scoring position in the third. Here in the fourth, first and third with 1 out. Now it's first and third with 2 out. Trainer's now become a twice-a-week catcher with the arrival of Benji Molina. 4 for his last 24. Blue skies above us right now, by the way, which seems impossible the way it was raining here at 4:30. And it was still very gray and threatening at 6 o'clock. The tarp didn't come off the field till about 6:15. Saunders trying to put it on the outside edge and just missed. 2-0. Got a nice looking North Texas night right now. And the first place Texas Ranger Ball Club up by 6. Largest lead they've had since 1999. It just so happens to be the last year the Rangers made the playoffs. Taking all the way, 3-1 now. Davis on deck. Another night, Tom, where the Rangers are making the Angels starter throw a lot of pitches. Saunders averaging about 20 per inning right now. C.J. Wilson, 13. Very Cliffley-like again. Bashed foul, almost hit Hamilton's feet. Doing a little dance down there. Weaver was gone after 6 innings yesterday because of a bloated pitch count.
Yeah, Weaver was close to 120 pitches, 20 pitches an inning.
Trainer chasing, down he goes, the high fastball. The Rangers again threaten but do not score. They're out hitting the Angels 6-3, but leading just 1-0. It's called 1-800-BLUE MAN. Tonight it is the red men of North Texas. C.J. Wilson gets to pick the uniform when he pitches, and he's red over blue. When given the choice, that's what he will do. He's got the red glove to go with the red uniform when he does have to wear blue on the road. The Rangers aren't sanctioned by Major League Baseball to wear their red on the road. He's got to wear the blue jersey, so he'll trot out the blue glove. Now, CJ tonight, on this beautiful night as it's turned out here in Arlington, he has scattered 3 hits. He has yet to walk a batter, and again, as he kind of hangs on every word from Cliff Lee. Whether it's circumstantial, a little bit of osmosis, learning something from Cliff. He's throwing a lot of strikes tonight. Kinsler with a backhand. One pitch, one out. Juan Rivera disposed of, and up comes Callaspo.
Yeah, and so far this game is almost the exact opposite of a well-pitched game than CJ had in Boston. In Boston, it was at the end of his line, 10 strikeouts, 5 walks. Tonight it's no walks, no strikeouts, a lot of ground balls, a lot of weakly hit balls. He's keeping the ball away from the middle of the plate. They've hit a couple of balls hard for base hits, maybe one. But for the most part, it's been soft ground balls to the right side and soft pop-ups to the outfield.
We hear the phrase pitch to contact a lot. CJ just did an interview with the folks at Baseball Prospectus I thought was real interesting. There's some more contact. Callaspo is out. What he told Baseball Prospectus was, he said, I've never really liked that phrase, pitch to contact. He says, I throw to a zone. I can't control if the hitter swings the bat or not. He says, I'm looking at a particular guy. Let's say he's a dead fastball hitter inside. I'm just going to throw him fastballs away like over and over again, he says. Not necessarily looking for contact. I'm just looking to make my pitch to a particular spot. It helps when you know the plays are going to be made behind you. And the Rangers defensively, we talked about it in Detroit. We talked about it yesterday. They're making all the routine plays, but boy, it helps too that on a night like last night, especially in front of a big crowd, big TV audience, they're making the spectacular ones too. Outfield straight up for Franzen. More contact, big hop, no problem. Elvis Andrus taking care of business. A 7th-pitch inning for the now very quick working C.J. Wilson. Our score stays 1-0. Sport is the best in Texas. After the rain steamrolled through here and left some humidity behind, the Rangers and the Angels play into the bottom of the 5th inning. The Rangers won by a run last night. They're now 4-2 head-to-head with the Angels in 2010. 13 left to play against them, Mr. Grieve, including tonight. So even though the Rangers are up 6, there's a lot still to do to take care of these Angels.
Well, one thing for sure, if the rest of the games are anything like the previous games, They're going to be exciting, and they're going to be close.
And well attended.
Virtually every game the Rangers have played the Angels has been a one-run game. Not every one, but close to it.
They played 3 really tense, well-played games earlier this month out there in Anaheim. The Rangers and Angels will end the season against each other, playing 4 right here. Davis with a ground ball. Can it get up the middle? Ibar says no. Makes the throw. Not in time.
Good call by Sam Holbrook at first base. He was right on top of that flight. Ibar got to the ball but couldn't get anything on the throw. And as the throw was lofting toward first base, Chris just took a few more steps and beat it out.
Boy, infield hits, stolen bases. That is Chris Davis. That brings up the guy more known for stuff like that, Elvis Andrus. CJ leads the American League in sack bunts. And the Rangers continue to lead the AL in infield hits. Davis has not really contributed many of those 101. I think his number is 2, as a matter of fact, for this year. Inside again, having showed the bunt. 2-0.
Yeah, now Ron Washington may say, okay, it's 2-0. He doesn't want to go to 3-0. Should be a fastball. Maybe I think he did this last night, as a matter of fact. Maybe I'll start the runner right here and let Elvis swing. Instead of 1 out and a man on second, maybe we end up first and third and nobody out.
The bunt is abuse. Saunders has to barehand and frisbee it along, and he's got Elvis, but now he's got 13 sack bunts.
And you sacrifice the runner to second base. You got Michael and Ian, who between them have 3 hits tonight. The only out that they made was the ball that Ian hit, maybe the hardest hit ball of the 4 at bats. 1-hop smash that Callaspo backhanded down the third baseline to save a run after Michael had doubled. It was back in the 3rd inning.
Michael Young has homered once and almost did it again. Settled for a double. Kind of scraped the wall out there in right. Going to right again. Right down the line. It is foul. Man, he's close to having 3 of those things. Seven of these homers from Michael Young that he's hit this year have been in the last 29 ball games. He had only 6 the whole year before that. And with 2 hits tonight, Tom, the batting average from Michael back up above 300.
One thing we know about Michael is when he gets hot again, the hits come 3 and 4 at a time.
Yep, and he
has
has
2 already. Probably get a couple more before this one's over.
Michael, every year, no matter where he ends up, there's going to be a stretch, you're right, where he's something like 24 for 48. And this could be the beginnings of such a thing. Works that count to 3-1. Kinsler on deck, who always wears out Saunders.
No, Saunders is pitching carefully, and he's pitching his pitch count up to 90 pitches right now.
So far, anyway, it's the best he's pitched on this mound. We talked about it at the start of the game. His ERA in this ballpark career had been in the 11s.
I think Saunders is too happy for the outside corner.
Into the crowd, 3-2. And again, kind of staying away from Mike. 3-2 coming. Got him.
Well, good fastball right there by Saunders. Velocity-wise, best fastball of the night, 92 miles an hour. Michael swinging the bat really well, and he made a good pitch and got him. Saunders pitching a nice game.
Napoli jumps a little bit back there, frames it well, gives him a good target. We mentioned Saunders, when he is good, he's really good. Sub-1 ERA in his 6 wins this season. Rings the corner this time to Kinsler. The Rangers have already had 5 men in scoring position tonight, Tag, but none of them have scored. The only run was a solo homer from Michael Young. Big swing, 0-2.
Saunders is pitching in a similar fashion to CJ, really. Doing a good job of being effective on the outside corner to the right-hand hitters. Struck out Vladdy on that pitch, struck out Michael on that pitch, got Ian to swing and miss at that last pitch. Same way, both pitchers doing a nice job kind of dominating the outside corner tonight.
Saunders was the number 12 pick in the nation in 2002. There were a couple lefties that went soon after. Scott Kazmir, who's in this Angels rotation now as well, and Cole Hamels went 15 and 17 respectively. Saunders went before them. First lefty in that draft was Adam Lowen. Baltimore took him in the 4th round, and he had a history of injury problems. That was the year that Brian Bullington, the right-hand pitcher, went number 1 overall out of Ball State.
And Cole Hamels has had a nice career. I don't know if he's had a nicer career than Joe Saunders, though. Saunders 54 and 31.
Kinsler gets the piece. Hey, can't go wrong with what Saunders has done so far. First rounder out of Virginia Tech.
I think anytime you have a young pitcher, and Saunders is somewhere around 27 years old, and when he's 25 and 26, he goes 33 and 14. That's pretty satisfying.
Trying to bust Kinsler inside. Works it to 2-2.
And he's still right at his 20 pitches per inning. This will be his 99th pitch in the 5th inning.
Yep, and CJ's at about 12 pitches per inning. And the Ranger bullpen had very little to do last night. Cliff Lee went 8 in the 3rd. Breaking ball got him. And Saunders, when the going gets tough tonight, he's been real good. The Rangers continue to lead 1-0. About stretch drive season tickets, you can catch 3 games against the Red Sox, 5 against the Yankees. You get some Angels and A's. You save up to 43%. Your last chance to guarantee your option to purchase seats if there is postseason activity. Something we haven't had around here in 11 years. 972 Rangers for more info. Or go to TexasRangers.com. Got a great big crowd here tonight. Pretty close to a sellout, it would appear. And they're watching C.J. Wilson and Joe Saunders, 2 lefties, battle. Michael Young's first inning homer, a 402-foot shot. That is all the scoring so far. And now we begin the 6th. Reggie Willits at the plate has one of the 3 hits against CJ tonight. Just kind of steered a single in right field. He commented last time we saw Willits in Anaheim, Tom, one of the few guys who still chokes up a little bit when he bats. Not a lot, but a little.
Yeah, I think for most hitters that gives you a little bit better back control. That you wait a little bit longer. And you're not talking about a long time, split seconds really. I think the guy we saw that choked up the most, if I remember, would have been Hunter Pence for Houston. He choked up probably 2 or 3 inches.
You know, Tom, we were talking earlier about Saunders, the starter for the Angels, being a first-round pick. C.J. Wilson, a 5th-round pick of the Rangers the year before, was actually the pick they took pretty soon after Mark Teixeira because they had lost their 2nd and 3rd-round picks that year. 2nd-round pick to the Mariners when A-Rod signed.
That had to be a strike.
Yeah,
that had to be all the way in the strike zone.
Instead, it is 3-2. And Willits, a guy who will run, especially in a 1-0 game. You definitely want to keep him off base. Yeah, it looked like C.J. had him struck out. And back to that draft that C.J. was a part of, Tom. Teixeira, obviously a gold star. Number 5 overall pick. And then C.J. in the 5th round. After that, none of the other draft picks, all the way through round 50, not a single one of them made it to the major leagues. But you can point to Teixeira and C.J. Wilson and call that an okay draft. C.J. comes back and wins out. Kinsler throws out Willits.
A lot of strikes from C.J. tonight. Probably more strikes than he's thrown all season long. And he's getting a lot of weakly hit balls. He's retired 9 straight batters. Almost all of them on weakly hit ground balls. There's been a pop-up to right field and a pop-up to center field. Other than that, it's been softly hit ground balls as he just continues to throw strike after strike.
Leading to 9 consecutive Angels set down. Ibar singled to lead off the game against him.
You know, I think both pitchers are pitching well tonight, and they're doing it with a tight strike zone. I think Jerry Davis is probably known as being somewhat of a hitter's umpire, and based on what we're seeing tonight, although I think he's done a consistent job of calling balls and strikes, I certainly wouldn't say he's been a pitcher's umpire tonight.
Nope, you got to earn it. And, you know, that's scary thinking that C.J. coming in tonight, Tom, as you mentioned, had the 60 walks, the most in the entire league.
It's almost like C.J. has reinvented himself in the way he's pitching tonight. Just throwing tempting pitches that aren't really good pitches to hit, getting the Angels to put him in play, but making weak contact inning after inning so far.
Cruz got it. Wouldn't that be something if a 10 strikeout game was followed by a 0 strikeout game and he ends up winning them both?
Yeah, especially if it's a 0 strikeout, 0 walk game after 5 walks and 10 strikeouts in the last game. In some ways, this game is better because his pitch count is down.
Right.
And even in the 5 walk, 10 strikeout game, the Red Sox hit a few balls hard. The Angels really haven't hit balls hard yet. I guess Rivera's ball was a fairly hard hit ball. Willits and Ibar hit balls up the middle okay.
What did Crash Davis tell Nuke LaLoosh? Strikeouts are boring. Besides that, they're fascist, he said. Get your guys involved. Let the defense do some work. And CJ is doing that tonight.
Bringing that slider right in on the outside corner. Boy, he's had beautiful control with the ball tonight. When he misses 2 or 3 inches outside. It comes right back on the corner. Not missing near the middle of the plate, except that time, but
Hamilton galloping back, still going. He's got it.
Gonna get it out anyway.
11 straight set down by C.J. Wilson. No walks, no strikeouts, no muss, no fuss. Worth $1,400 in dinner for 2 at Sonic. Good luck to Stella Melton of Aubrey, Texas. If a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. Now, keeping in mind that Joe Saunders in 6 starts here in Arlington has allowed 13 home runs. And he's got to face Guerrero, Hamilton, and Cruz in this inning. Your initial thought is good. We're giving away $1,400. But tonight, Saunders has really buckled down. Guerrero was struck out twice. In fact, Saunders has a half a dozen strikeouts for the game, and he's given up just the 1 run.
Yeah, I think Saunders is pitching one of the better games he's pitched this year. He made a lot of good pitches.
As you mentioned, Tommy had a dynamite 2009, 16-7. The year before that, he was the second winningest lefty in the entire league behind Cliff Lee. Big swing, but just a little comebacker. They have absolutely clamped down on Vladdy tonight. Pitch counts at 100, though. And as well as he's pitching, you don't figure he's going to be pitching for all that much longer. Kevin Jepson has gotten up in the Angels bullpen already. Up comes Josh Hamilton, been on base twice. And having hit safely in 32 of his last 33 games here at home, averaging an RBI per game. Well, Saunders making some tough pitches to some tough hitters. Rangers haven't hit the ball out of the infield since David Murphy popped to shallow left in the 4th. One-two delivery. is swept along up near first and foul. Cliff Lee pitched beautifully last night. C.J. Wilson doing the same for the Rangers tonight. There were 2 near no-hitters in baseball yesterday. John Lackey came close. Cole Hamels, we were just talking about him. 8 innings of 1-hit ball.
Last year, Saunders pitched against the Rangers 3 times and pitched a total of 10 2/3 innings. Obviously, tonight he's much better.
His ERA against the Rangers last year was in the 16s. That is right to the bag and a fair ball. Franzen kind of overran the bag and then went back. And the Rangers, again, having a tough time getting the ball much past the pitcher's mound the last few innings. Nelson Cruz will bat, and Nelly is 2 for 2. Although even his hits were not exactly blasted. He had the infield hit in the second and a bloop and a right in the fourth. These Rangers 6-2 since the All-Star break. Remember, they were 3-8 right before the break, including those embarrassing 4 straight losses to the Orioles right here. When they took that break, Ron Washington said, it looks like we need a break. They've come out and gone 6-2, a chance to make it 7-2 tonight. On the ground yet again. Chance for Ibar. Loads and fires, and now right now it's simply Saunders and Wilson back and forth, 0 for 0. Rangers riding that first inning Michael Young homer. Up 1-0. Rapid rewind. See what's new from AT&T. Go to AT&T for details. It's the Rangers 1, the Angels nothing. C.J. Wilson embracing that work quick, throw strikes, pitch to contact dynamic. No walks, no strikeouts, and a 1-0 lead in the 7th. Tough part of the order, though. Bobby Abreu gets it going. Abreu, one of only 3 lefties all year to have an extra base hit against C.J. Darren O'Day's in the bullpen, but C.J.'s pitch count is mid-70s right now. poured in there for a strike, 1-2. When CJ faced the Angels here just a couple months ago, they gave up 7 runs in about 4 innings. Much better tonight. The 2-2 to Abreu. Got him for the first strikeout all night. And that renders lefties this year against C.J. Wilson 9 for 100.
That's just nothing fancy. That's a high fastball. Got a lot of the plate. He just threw it by him. Now, the Rangers bullpen was used a lot in Boston. In Detroit, there was a 14-inning game where the bullpen had to throw 9 innings. Since that game, the bullpen has had, as we mentioned last night, an all-star break, really. 3 games ago, Oliver pitched an inning, Mathis pitched an inning. 2 games ago, Mathis pitched 1 inning, and last night, Felice pitched 2/3 of an inning. So in the last 3 games, a total of 3 2/3 innings from the bullpen. And several guys out in the bullpen have had 3 days off to rest. Darren O'Day is one of them. Frankie is one of them. Ogando is one of them.
Got to be real careful here with Torrey Hunter, who has homered twice against CJ this season. I'm sure CJ well aware of how Hunter has hit him. Indeed, he's careful. It's 3-0. Mike Napoli, their leading home run guy, is on deck. There's a strike.
It's a 3-0 pitch that caught the outside corner. He didn't throw it right down the middle of the plate. He's not going to take a chance that Hunter's going to be swinging 3-0. Instead, he does what he's been doing all night long, just painting that outside corner.
Now the inside is 3-2.
The hitters aren't comfortable tonight. They're just not getting a good part of the bat on the ball. That's Cliff Lee, one side of the plate to the other.
He struck out Torrey Hunter.
It's almost like CJ was watching Cliff Lee pitch last night on the monitor and came out tonight and said, I'm going to try to duplicate the way he pitched last night.
Well, the pitch count is very similar. The approach, as you said, Tom, remarkably similar. And not at all how he succeeded in Boston. Again, if you add up the walks and strikeouts his last start, you get 15. Tonight, that number is 2. 2 strikeouts, both here in the 7th.
"13 straight retired by CJ.
Yeah, that harmless little single by Willits in the 3rd. But now a line shot by Napoli. Murphy plucks it out of the air. Another quick and easy inning for Christopher John Wilson. 7th inning stretch, Rangers by 1. Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, moving forward. And this one pushes past the 7th inning stretch. The Rangers will bat with David Murphy leading off against Joe Saunders. And what a tight little pitcher's battle this has been tonight. C.J. Wilson and Joe Saunders mostly trading zeros, but Michael Young's first inning homer standing up.
A great pitchers matchup last night. Cliff Lee, Jared Weaver. This one's just as good, if not better, tonight.
Feldman versus Santana tomorrow. Those guys are on notice. They've got a lot to live up to. Rangers, obviously this year, enjoying the kind of success they haven't for a long time. 56-40 is their record. Tied for the best record they've ever had after 96 games. In the couple of years where they had records like 56-40, they were not winning a lot of 1-0 games here at home or anywhere. Line shot foul by Murphy. Pitching and defense, the time-honored battle cry all around baseball. Ron Washington really wanted to make sure that his team was ready to do both those things this year. Pitch well and catch and throw well. That has been way on display here in this series. That win yesterday, we talked about it, the Rangers getting to their first 6-game lead at any point in the AL West. A win tonight, that number becomes 7. And Saunders getting pretty close to where Weaver was yesterday. Tom, up close to 118 pitches now.
Yeah, I think Mike Scioscia let him go out for the 7th because he's throwing the ball so well. He's cruising, really. And he's pitched long enough not to be bothered by 115 or 120 pitches.
Murphy works him, though.
The other side of it is, in this inning, you've got Murphy and Davis both scheduled to hit. 2 left-hand hitters. They only have 1 lefty in the bullpen. That's Brian Fuentes. He's the closer. But Scioscia liked the lefty-lefty matchup, liked the way Saunders is throwing the ball right now. Didn't feel a need to change.
Murphy is robbed by Kendrick. What a play. Boy, it sure looked like it was going into right center. Pitching and defense working both ways tonight.
Good at bat for David, too. Against a tough left-handed pitcher. Down in the count, waved at a couple of breaking balls, but he battled in the count and worked it to 3-2 and almost had a base hit.
Now Matt Trainer. That one headed into the crowd. Still no official word on the attendance yet tonight, but as you said, Tom, right off the bat, when you see people sitting in the very top row in the corners way up there in the upper deck, you figure it's north of 45,000.
Yeah, I think it's sellout territory.
That one drifting outside the Trainer. Again, tomorrow the game's at 7:30. 7 o'clock will be Tom Grieve's induction into the Ranger Hall of Fame. All carried for you on Fox Sports Southwest tomorrow. Deflected by Saunders, slowly towards Kendrick. He'll barehand and fire. Trainer belly flops and he's out.
He's all right.
Oh boy,
he jammed his foot into the base hard.
Oh no.
Just as he got to the base to try to beat it out, he jammed his foot down and caught the front of the base extremely hard.
The Rangers already had Davis beating out an infield hit. Trainer so close to doing it too. But grabbing for that right lower leg. Trainer missed pretty much all last year with hip surgery. He's battled his way back. That's a good sign that he's able to get up.
That's better than it looked when he went down. Hopefully it's not serious, but it sure looked like it the way he jammed his leg into the bag the way he did. Keep our fingers crossed on that. He actually tripped over Franson's back leg.
Ball was deflected by Saunders first. Yeah, that's what it looked like, because Franson came hopping out of there too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he heard it when he jammed his foot into the bag or whether he heard it when he tripped on Franson's back leg.
.122 pitchers for Saunders now. A season high. Here's your last look at it here. Boy, right on that Achilles of Franson. Fouled by Davis. Saunders gets all kind of credit. I mean, you just have to appreciate it. Here's a guy that, as we mentioned, is totally, has to be weirded out by how poorly it's always gone for him in this ballpark. And tonight, even with a first inning home run, persevering and keeping his team in the game. Davis down the left field line and foul. Saunders' highest pitch count this year before tonight was 115. He's going to be about 10 over that. Benji Molina will become the Ranger catcher. He's poised and set to come on for Matt Trainer. Obviously, Frankie Francisco getting loose now in that Ranger bullpen. Davis powers it to left. But in this thick air tonight, doesn't really take off. Reggie Willits has got it. And the Rangers' lead is still that skinny 1 run as we will go to the 8th. time for the Honda flashback moment of the game. Sorry, Honda. Shop Honda.com. Talking C.J. Wilson tonight. And almost a Xerox copy of what we saw last night. We saw Cliff Lee wearing 33, left-handed. C.J. Wilson wearing number 36, left-handed. Getting weak contact. And leading by 1 against the Angels.
As CJ has just worn out the outside corner to the right-hand hitters tonight. They just have not been able to handle that because, number one, it's tough to do. And number two, he's thrown enough pitches inside, enough different kinds of pitches to keep them honest and to keep them from leaning out over the plate and trying to drive that outside pitch. They've hit a lot of weak ground balls to the infield, a lot of weak fly balls to the outfield. Last couple of innings, they've hit a couple of balls hard. Kendrick hit a shot to center that Hamilton ran down. Napoli hit a shot to left field that David Murphy came trotting in to make a catch. So a couple of hard hit balls in the last 2 innings, both line drives right at outfielders.
Rivera has one of the 3 Angel hits tonight. And if CJ really wants to copy Cliff Lee, he'll throw 10 more pitches and be taken out to a cascade of boos with 1 out in the 9th. Ron Washington came out and got Cliff Lee yesterday after 8 1/3. The fans booed because they wanted to see Cliff go all the way. But then Neftali Feliz came on and everything was just fine. I like how Lee said after the game he was lobbying Ron Washington. He was trying to be polite and respectful. He said, well, you're the manager and I'll do what you want to do. I respect your decision, but I'd really like to keep going. Is what he told his manager. Ron said, I understand that. I had an all-star closer. You've done great, and here's what we're doing. Cliff said, okay. I disagree, but here's your baseball, and thanks for the opportunity. In for a strike, 3-2. Rivera kind of rolls his eyes and steps out.
Yeah, because you're ahead in the count 3-1 in a 1-run game. You're looking for a good pitch to hit. Instead, you get a pitch right on the outside corner. He's just done that all night long. You might hope to get a pitch you could drive. Instead, you get a pitch you can't even pull the trigger on. And really not that great a pitch to swing at 3-1 anyway.
Swinging here, and he drives it into right center. Hamilton going back and over and making the catch.
It was well placed. It wasn't hit that hard, but it was well placed. Hamilton was playing a little bit over in left center. Had a long way to go, but because it wasn't hit hard, it hung up in the air. And with Josh's speed and athletic talent, he ran it down easily in right center field. And another good job by CJ, who hasn't walked a batter, coming back from a 3-1 count.
Going back to yesterday, 12 3-ball counts, and the Rangers haven't walked anybody. So obviously following up with a strike every time it gets to 3 balls.
He's retired 15 straight batters.
Ball and a strike to the recently acquired Alberto Callaspo. Kansas City just peddled him away, and David DeJesus, we've just learned, Tom, is out for the year.
Wow.
He was going to be trade bait, you figured, for somebody. So they have traded Callaspo. Now they can't trade DeJesus. Pass the mound. Kinsler has got it. And from one knee, almost pulled that thing off. Davis with a stretch. There's the 4th hit for the Angels tonight. Slower runner, that would have been unbelievable.
That was a great job just to get to the ball. And Callaspo is a good hitter. He did a nice job. That pitch was probably an inch outside, and he stepped into the ball and drove it back through the middle. Didn't just reach for it and tap it off the end of the bat. He hit that ball solidly. Great job by Ian just to catch it. Not much of a chance to throw him out, though. CJ had a leadoff single in the 1st, and Kendrick hit into a double play.
You want that from Franzen right here?
Yeah, there's 1 out, so it wouldn't be a leadoff single, but double play would work just as well.
Franzen is a really good contact hitter. Doesn't strike out much at all. 6 times, as a matter of fact, in 46 games. Wilson had retired, as you said, Tom, 15 straight. Now Cayaspo, the runner, the tying man. Benji Molina into the game to catch, and it would be his responsibility to gun one down there to second if Cayaspo decides to steal. Towards the alley in right center, Josh Hamilton again is there. We go to Julie Dobbs. Go ahead, Julie.
Yes, hey, I'm out here in the outfield, and I'm with Abby Miller, and she's with the Medical Center of Arlington. She has a huge group out here tonight, 700 people. Tell me about the occasion. What are y'all celebrating, and a little bit also about your organization.
Yeah, I'm with Medical Center of Arlington, and we're all here to celebrate our NICU reunion. So that is our neonatal intensive care unit graduates that are out here with us today. This is our 11th annual event, and we're really excited to be here at the ballpark.
Awesome. There's 700 of them essentially taking over the all-you-can-eat seats. Why did you pick the Ranger game tonight for your destination?
Exactly. We are a huge corporate partner of the Texas Ranger. We're the official hospital of the Rangers, and so what better place to have our event?
I agree. There isn't a better place than right here at the ballpark. Abby, thank you very much. Josh and Tom, back to you.
All right, Julie, thank you. Mike Maddox out there on the mound to talk to Molina and Wilson. The Rangers have the bullpen ready. CJ is at 98 pitches. Last night it was Lee going to 99. Maiceres Torres is going to pinch hit. And it was his Torres who thundered one into left center yesterday, a double that got the Angels on the board, tied the game 1-1.
Well, the Angels have only been 6 for 31 pinch hitting, and his Torres the only one that has 2 pinch hits.
Been a tough out for the Rangers the last couple of years.
Well, there's another pitch. He just locked in on that side of the plate. He keeps pitching like this the rest of the year, he'll turn into Cliff Lee.
It's a pretty amazing imitation tonight. Remember, Wilson had joked when Lee joined the team, I hope he doesn't take my number. That number 36 that Lee's always worn. Instead, Wilson has kind of taken Lee's personality. You've said it a couple times tonight, Tom, just hammering away at both corners, inside and out, not being too tricky, throwing 4 or 5 different pitches, just a couple of real good pitches in great locations all night. Into this great big crowd it goes. 1-2 the count, trying to keep it 1-0 here in the 8th. And that time man will be on the move now. Ranger killer Eric Ibar waits on deck.
with the 2 pitches before it, and then to get him, he took a little bit off. 88 miles an hour, dropped it right where he's dropped it all day long, right on the outside corner. And
Tonight's TXA 21 North Texas Honda dealer of the game, Bankston Honda of Louisville. Go to bankstonhonda.com or take the trip to Louisville. Michael Young has hit a home run tonight, and that's it. For the fans that were stuck in the bottleneck trying to get in here in the first inning, they missed it. 46,500 plus at the ballpark tonight. 46,554. There was an expected crowd initially of about 38,000 tonight. So another very strong walk-up, even though there was a big-time rainstorm that passed through here. Kevin Gibson now on the mound, and there's a race to the bag. Cranston takes a little swan dive over there and beats Elvis Andrews for the first out of the bottom of the 8th. Joe Saunders went 125 pitches tonight to get through 8 innings, Tom, and now it's Jepson.
Yeah, I don't think it looked like 125 pitches the way he pitched at the end of the game. He was strong at the end of the game, and I'm sure that's why Mike Scioscia stuck with him. You look at the job that he did after the 5th inning. The Rangers didn't get a hit in the 6th or 7th. It was 6 up, 6 down. Got retired the last 9 hitters. So even though his pitch count was a little higher than it normally is when he finishes a game, he was cruising, throwing the ball great. And Mike Scioscia had, I'm sure, no qualms leaving him there for 125 pitches.
Neftali Feliz is getting ready. Saved a 1-run game yesterday. The Angels are 0 for 21. The guy's on the roster right now against Feliz. Actually, I'll have to check and see what Callaspo is, since he just got here today. But the Ranger bullpen against the Angels, really last year and this year, has been great. His Torres, by the way, stayed in the game. He's now at 3rd. And Callaspo, who can play pretty much anywhere, is bumped out to left, taking over for Willits. Kendrick will scoop it up. Another game tomorrow, 7:30 first pitch. Sunday is 7:05, and then the A's come to town. You can bring the whole family out for one of those games, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday series. Total family ticket plan, you get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, a parking pass, sports park tokens. Go to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Sprained right knee, by the way, we're told, on Matt Trainer. MRI tomorrow, and obviously you can only hope that the Rangers get some good news. Matt Trainer's been a very important part of what the Rangers have been about. Boy, 1-0 games in this ballpark are like eclipses. They just don't happen very often. And the Rangers tonight, with the Michael Young homer, they have that 1-0 lead real late.
The Rangers and the Angels have played 6 times. 5 of the games have been 1-run games. The other game was a 2-run game.
Wow.
And this is looking a lot like another 1-run game. So it's 2 good teams, pretty evenly balanced, and when they get together, it's generally a great game. It's been that way every game so far this season. This is the 7th game, and every one of them has been just like this.
Kinsler couldn't hold up. It's 2-2. Oh, the Angels have pitched well, top to bottom tonight. C.J. Wilson is done, it would appear. Neftali Feliz. We'll go to the Ranger Hall of Fame tomorrow officially. The induction ceremony at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest. A 7:30 ball game to follow. The Rangers trying to knock this one down in the last. Neftali Feliz to save number 27. This was not supposed to be the Ranger closer this year. This was supposed to be the setup guy. But when Frankie Francisco faltered 1 week in, Feliz at 21 years old got the gig. He parlayed that into an all-star appearance in Anaheim, and now against these LA Angels of Anaheim, trying to secure a 1-0 win in front of 46,000 plus. Ibar swings right away, pops it into shallow center. One pitch, one out.
Well, Feliz is 26 out of 28. He saved his last 17, and he's retired all 12 Angels he's faced so far. And you love to get that leadoff guy, especially Ibar. He gets on to lead off the inning. You just kind of hold your breath. But you got to go through the top of the order. Good hitters.
And that Beat LA chant starts as it did last night in the ninth. Kendrick nothing for 3. Only 4 Angel base runners all night. Michael Young homered 14 pitches into this game. And so far, that's been it. On the ground, past the mound to Kinsler. 2 men out in the top of the ninth. Bobby Abreu takes ball 1. He's been a tough out for the Rangers ever since he became an Angel last year. Outfield very deep. And C.J. Wilson poised to get to 9-5. Another thing, just like Cliff Lee, to have the 9 wins. He'd have the no-walk night. Young guards the line at third. Big swing and a miss. 2-1.
Oh, there's a 2-0 count. Abreu in a 1-run game has to be looking to hit an extra base hit. Has to be looking for a fastball. That's all Feliz has thrown. And he still threw the 2-0 fastball right by him.
Fouled back 2-2. Young's first inning homer carries the whole thing. And C.J. Wilson, who in his last 9 starts was averaging 4 walks a game, walked no one tonight. He goes to 9-5. The Rangers go to 7 games up in the AL West. Another save for Neftali Feliz.
You talk about Neftali coming in and overmatching Bobby Abreu. He's looking fastball. He's ahead in the count 2-0. He got a piece of one and fouled it off. The other two, Neftali just threw it right by a really good hitter. That's a dominating save for Neftali right there.
Last time the Rangers won 1-0 here in Arlington on just a solo home run. It was the first year of the franchise. How about that? Michael Young gets it done tonight. Your final is 1-0.